Hey guys, welcome out to the range. Today we're going to do a drill called the church drill. I do a slight variation on it. It's done at 10 yards onto a 10 yards onto a humanoid target. I do it on the head. You can do it on the body, doesn't really matter. As long as you're keeping it roughly in like the 6 to 8 inch circle. I'll put it on the screen because I can't remember the exact numbers. I do it on the head. The reason I do it on the head is the head hit, the head shot, effectively stops behavior cold. Doesn't mean that it kills, it means that it stops behavior. It means that it so severely strikes a person anywhere from here up. You hit a person there, anywhere here. You are going to so dramatically alter their behavior that they're going to stop doing whatever it is that they're doing at that moment. It's going to give you an opportunity to skedaddle or to shoot them further and potentially permanently put them down if need be. But the point is, if this is all they give you, like with the gentleman in the church in Texas, that's all he had. That's the shot he took because that's the only shot he had. He stopped this dude from 15 yards in like 3 seconds. So the shooting began and the fight was over in 3 seconds because he saw, identified, had his weapon readily on his person, readily accessible, had the skill, took the shot, and it was a headshot, and it passed through. It went like that. And that guy actually died in the process of shooting his shotgun at the pastor. So, I like the head hit. So anyways, I'm practicing adding to this because I can easily get this done within about 3 seconds, usually 2 and 3/4. And so now I'm adding the extra hit. This is a technique that I love because it only absorbs 1 to 2 rounds depending on which version of the church defense drill that you're doing. And also because I'm going to do something real quick for you guys because there are so many new gun owners that have entered the industry, entered the market. At last count it was like 30 million or something like that. So for those that don't know, when you see me loading my handgun, there's a technique that I do. It's a very simple technique. It takes out all of the hoopla that you see a lot of people doing. It's mag goes in and it's push, pull, and then actually, no, we'll do it from, well, no, we'll do it from slide open. So it's slide locked to the rear, and its mag is placed in the weapon, and it's push pull. So what you'll see me do is, it'll look like one solid motion, but it's push pull, and I hook the edge of the Vickers tactical plate, hook the edge and tug, and then pinch, and the slide goes home. And the muzzle was always pointed that way. It was never done. It wasn't done this way, which is, I'm not going to go there. It wasn't done this way. It wasn't done this way. It sure as heck wasn't done that way. That's actually been done to me when I was a cop, and an officer did it behind me and actually dropped her slide while pointing her weapon at me. It was an ugly day. And yeah, I threatened her within an inch of her life. I don't care who you are. I will beat your ass if you drop a slide pointing your weapon at me. So anyways, then, so the slide goes home, then my support hand thumb sweeps across the loaded chamber indicator, and the pistol goes away. So I'm not doing all the press check and the boom, boom, boom. And the reason for that is I have seen it with my own eyes. People who do all that fiddling around with their handgun when they're under high stress, I watch the same fiddling when they reload that handgun under high stress. It is hilarious to watch. So I adopted this technique after watching the mentality that went with all of the hand motions that are like uber tactic, and this works for me. And so the answer to the question is going to be, well, aren't you worried about the loaded chamber indicator being erroneous and thinking that you have a round in the chamber but you actually don't, so shouldn't you do the press check? No. And here's why. Many years ago, I went to a training facility where they just love abusing students, and we were told, drop your handgun in the dirt. So we had to drop our guns in the dirt, and the instructors came by and stepped on the handguns. And on my end of the line, it wasn't mud. I'm sorry, it wasn't clay. It was mud. It was Tennessee, silty mud and clay. And they sank the handgun into the slop. And I picked it up, fired a shot, it cycled, jammed, I tapped, racked, got another round out of the thing, realized I might damage the gun, so I just stopped. And I had a 5-gallon bucket back here, so everyone went back, and I was like, wait a minute, this is a prime opportunity to check. So what I did was, I unloaded the weapon, stored the mag, checked the loaded chamber indicator, cleared the round, checked the loaded chamber indicator. Okay, loaded chamber indicator is down. Reloaded, chambered, loaded chamber indicator up. Did it again. And what I found was that loaded chamber indicator on a phenomenally filthy handgun was still functioning as designed. Why? Because it's a Glock. And that's what Glocks do. Glocks are like AK-47s. They just work. And so the point is, when someone say, well, you know what? You can't trust... Yeah, actually I can trust a loaded chamber indicator because I've seen what it's capable of taking. And I'm telling you, yeah, it works. So this drill, it's fired at 10 yards, and when you make your rotation, you have to remember that the rotation, for me as a lefty, isn't this way, because let's say that you are the potential bad guy. If I begin rotating like this, you see me coming. Now it's nice because it actually puts my gun in a position where I can start engaging you if I need to.
Snap shoot him, that just gets him off of him, and then get away from him. Ready? Gun! Get back! Gun! Get back! You did that well, Abner.
Thank you,
Way
sir.
to adapt. So you did that well. Way to adapt.
Thank you, sir.
Good! Good!
I'm rotating this way, I'm already telegraphing to you what I'm doing. But if I rotate this way, you can't even see what my hands are doing. And at this point, I can identify that you're the threat and I can engage you if I need to. So for me as a lefty, my rotation is always to support side. For the righty, it's always to support side, so it's a left-hand rotation. Okay, so what we're looking at is a 5-second part time. And start with your back turned to the threat in a relaxed position. The first time I run this, I'm gonna make the rotation, draw the weapon, get my shot, and I'm gonna hold. So you understand just how long 5 seconds actually is. Right? I don't have to say anything. Shot number 1 was 233. Shot number 2 was 306. This is not a particularly difficult drill if you understand the body mechanics of the ready position. Feet very far, not shoulders width apart, which is, this is law enforcement and military shooting. This is combative shooting. I'm actually on the balls of my feet. Doesn't look like it. In fact, that's flat on my feet, that's on the balls of my feet. Could you tell the difference? I'm slightly tipped forward. I'm actually ready to move if I have to. And if I have to run, I literally just run. It's not this, it's not this, it's sure as hell not this. It's come off the gun and move. And when I've done this, some people lose their mind, but I tell them, folks, just run. You're going to muzzle people, so muzzle them as safely as possible. Just run. And so it's that, and then take off and move if you have to. So once again, I'm going to give you 2 shots on a timer from 10 yards. By the way, that's check 360, what you saw me doing there at the end. And yeah, I've got a video on that. Shot 1, 217. Shot 2, 284. Split of .67. Headshots. That last one was a little bit high, but I promise you, you beam somebody there with a 9mm, yeah, you're gonna stop them. You're gonna stun them. You're gonna get them to stop what they're doing for just the slightest moment, and then you can get further shots on them. It is doable. That's what I've got for you. This is a drill that I really like when I don't want to burn through ammunition, because ammunition is very expensive. I buy ammo by the case because I don't see the point in buying it by the box, but I also don't fiddle around. And do a lot of other things. I focus my efforts and my finances on the things that I need to do, and then I sometimes do the things that I want to do. My wife chooses the stuff we're going to go do. She is wonderful about, you know, lining us up for concerts and things like that, but she knows that this is something that I do for us. So do what you need to do. If you have any questions about ammo, guys, my answer for ammo is always going to be aimsurplus.com. Don't bother asking me about where else to get ammo. aimsurplus.com. Why? Because I've been buying from them for years. Then I became friends with I think he was manager of something or another back then, and then he became like VP, and now he's the owner of the company, my friend Brian Flanagan. I've been with him for years. He's a dynamite guy. He's one of us. He is a ninja level shooter. I mean, he's phenomenal. He humbly goes and he teaches classes as assistant instructor in like might say like 8 words all day long. I mean, he's just he loves to give, and he's the guy that'll place a box of ammunition on the range, photograph it, and say, first guy in bay 6 gets a free box of ammo. Happy Saturday, and off he goes. I mean, guys, that's a love of shooting. That's a love of community. So please give your patronage to those people who have exhibited themselves to be part of the community. As always, I thank you guys for your support of Tier 1 Citizen. I thank you for your sling purchases. I thank you for your donations. As always, God bless you all. Get those guns out in practice. Have a good one.